Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about cars and trucks and SUVs and motorcycles and the rain. I think it's starting to rain, and the dogs and conversation. Hey, good morning for all those that subscribe to me. Appreciate the support out there, really do. I enjoy hearing great comments over the negative ones. Who doesn't, right? And yeah, I just really enjoy making my channel if I feel like others think they're having fun too. So that kind of keeps things going. Hopefully that's the real answer, right? But you know what's so cool? It's really cool on how I post videos and others reach out and help me out. Because I was walking around and it's really intriguing that others really listen to me talk, right? So there's Tango Mango, he's a happy boy. So a gentleman reached out and said, hey, beautiful, Challenger wide body. And I made a comment the other day, why isn't there a driving light right there to kind of give the car kind of cool aesthetic look? And the gentleman made a good point. He's like, hey, these wide bodies need all that air coming through to that wheel for that brake caliper and your rotor to kind of keep the brakes cooled down. So the reason there's not something blocking that area and there's not a light there is because you need airflow. I was like, wow, the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Wow, Mike just loves that car. What a great car. It's so funny. I just go full circle in life. Went from Dodge to Ford, and back to Dodge, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so, what's my secrets to that? What's my secrets in life that creates that? And how I kind of change my flavors, but then I go back to my favorite flavor. What's that all about? It's just my car addictions of life. And yeah, so I thought this morning, come on, puppies, let's go. Come on, let's go. Get in the barn. Come on, let's go. Come on. Good boy. Come on, Ginger. Yeah, what's the conversation? Secrets. I thought, hey, let's talk about the secrets. Can you talk about your secrets? Are you going to disclose all your secrets? Do we all have secrets? I think we do. I think that's kind of the way we're just brought in this world. Well, I tell you what, to be lightning, I'm loving this damn truck as it burns down my garage, right? Yeah, I hear you. Get out of the garbage. Look, it's still charging. There you go. Wow. So last night we went in and I'm going to say 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30. And it's 8 o'clock right now. So, wow, 12 hours. So, I can't even get my watch to look. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, it's like 8 o'clock. So, it's 12 hours. 12 hours. This truck is still charging. And it's not fully charged. And it should charge up to about 330 miles. And so, but boy, I tell you what, I just love this truck. I really do. I mean, here I am, the guy calling out the electric vehicle agenda, which I am. I mean, for the record, it's an agenda, and it's the biggest scam of mankind, convincing somebody to think that this vehicle is going to save the world. It's ridiculous. It really is. So I'll be the first to raise my hand. Yeah, absolutely. It's a joke. It's a scam. It really is. But at the same time, the vehicle is a blast. That thing is so fast. It is just wicked fast. Come on, Pops, let's go. Come on. Get up here. Come on. So, on one hand, it's love-hate. I've talked about it. It's the love-hate of the electric vehicle. But, it looks like a Ford truck. I mean, all sincerity, if you didn't really know the secrets, if there wasn't a lightning sticker on here, and I had a fake exhaust, I should do that. I should put a fake exhaust. I should put a dual fake exhaust in the back of this thing and then buy the boom box and make engine noise, right? Isn't that where it's all going? I mean, we know that's where it's all going. But I mean, overall, this truck, I polished it again last night. Hey, the birds didn't crap all over it. That's amazing. I want to change out the front grille, though. I think this thing had a nicer front grille. For one thing's for sure, if you put a conventional grille in, like my platinum truck, my poor platinum truck, it's getting so forgotten about, right? Not really. I mean, I put like 3,000 miles on that thing instantly, and it still is my favorite truck because it's so versatile. But if I put that grill in that truck, whatever, who knows. But anyways, interesting. So I had to charge. Yeah, this is just really, wow. So there you go. There's the challenge. Jokes about how you'll have somebody that has an electric car and they'll call into the office and say you can't come in today because their car isn't running. And then, you'll say, well, just my battery's dead. And you'll say, yeah, well, just jumpstart your car. Like, no, it's an electric car. No, Joe, who worked for me, he came in a few times, not much. And he's like, I forgot to plug the truck in. So if we got a really long day today, it's not going to make it. Yeah, I mean, that did happen. And one day I was like, forget it. Just don't worry about it. Go back home. So those stories, you just know those stories are happening. Especially if you got a long commute. If you got a 100-mile commute or whatever, it's going to be more stories. All right, let me get my phone put here, down, slide it in. It's cold, not radically cold, but cold. Yeah, so, I thought to myself this morning, let's talk about secrets. And I thought, well, we got to keep it on the car side because it's a car channel, and I do love my vehicles. Have you figured that out yet? Any secrets on my side of what's my passion in life? The car addictions, the constant wanting something different and new. And even then I get rid of things I've had. I think I should have got rid of them. Yeah. So anyways, I was talking to myself the secrets. And I think to myself too, it's like it's from the very beginning in your life, you're taught the secrets. You just think about Santa Claus. Just think about your little kid and Christmas. It was all about the secrets of your parents not telling you what gifts they had gotten and how, Santa Claus. What do you mean there's not a real Santa Claus? Oh my gosh. I saw the movie Santa Claus with Tim the Tool Man. Come on. There's got to be a Santa Claus, right? There's got to be a Santa Claus. So anyways, I think at a very young age, we're already intrigued and taught to be, very curious and just intrigued by secrets. I mean, what's the gossip? What's the world? What's the biggest thing that goes on at the coffee machine in the morning at businesses where people are mingling among themselves and they're talking about all the secrets, right? I mean, is it really a secret? I mean, it's just, and where we are today, wow. So anyways, I just think about the automotive industry, and you think about all the time you get like Car and Driver or Motor Trend or whoever it may be, has these secret photos of the next generation, like the S650 Mustang. So the S550 is the previous generation Mustang now, but the new Mustang, they start showing these secretive photos of these cars that are wrapped and being tested up in Michigan or wherever they're doing the testing rounds. And so it's always a secret. You see the whole vehicle. It's Porsche, Mercedes. It's all the manufacturers. And what you see is this vehicle, but you can't really get the true look of the vehicle because it's still being held secretly to the general public before they do the big reveal. And for marketing reasons, they have to do that because they want to control the existing market they have. If people continue to buy the car that they're building and not ruin that, because somebody sees the brand new car that's maybe 2 years away, and then maybe they're like, you know what, I'm not going to buy that S550 Mustang. I've already seen the S650 Mustang, but it's not going to be here for 2 or 3 years. But now I'm just going to hold off. So it's all about the marketing. I mean, it's all it is. I mean, manufacturer, as anybody here knows, they have to constantly be bringing something different, new, to get us to be purchasers of their products. But some people are like, screw that. I love what I have. And a lot of people, you got to wonder, more than ever, are people just really content with where we are at the ice age? They just don't let it go. I mean, this morning I looked up the Ford truck, F-150, and I swear last week or whatever day I talked about it, there were 60 local within a 100-mile radius. Now there's 64. And then there was like 140, the F-150 Lightning truck, there was 64 throughout a 100-mile radius. And then I noticed there's 144 Ford Mustang Mach-E's with a 100-mile radius. So it just seems like that number, I could have sworn it was 60, and I could have sworn it was 140. So that number isn't really changing. So you have to say to yourself, what's going on? I mean, why? What's the secret? What's the secret? And the dealerships right now, is there a big secret? They don't want to share that they're seeing a huge shift and people buying cars? I mean, I have no idea. I'm just asking. I'm not here to be critical of others or critical of the automotive dealerships or industry. I'm just saying, is there secret talks? I mean, it's just a no-brainer. If you're an automotive dealership, you're never going to say to somebody that we're in dire straits and we need you to buy a car, because then it portrays that you can get the steal of the century, that, the dealership's going to do whatever they do to make the deal go down, right? Who hasn't heard these stories, right? So, and the secrets in the automotive industry too, you look at Tesla. Tesla, you cannot crack their information. I mean, Tesla is so proprietary that apparently there's some guy like Connecticut that years ago that just picked up crashed Teslas, and he's taking them apart himself to figure out the dynamics and the engineering of these cars. But the Tesla borderline tried to sue him, I think, or something. Yeah, I mean, Tesla is so proprietary that they just don't let you have any information on these cars, and even to the point that if you look at their conversation here when Elon Musk had the get together of the big March 1st whatever reveal or whatever, they're not sharing. They're just not sharing much information. So Tesla seems to be incredibly secretive. And now with Elon Musk, with the Twitter fiasco, we can talk about that later. And then I think to myself, in the automotive world, how many secrets have been withheld from the consumers of their driving a vehicle that's not safe? I mean, what was the Ford Explorer? What was ever the Ford Explorer back in the 90s that would have these rollover issues with Firestone tires? Does anybody remember that? So how did that mean? Even for me, I think myself, was it I think that's what brought the tire pressure monitoring system, TPMS, was that in these crashes, they saw that the Ford Explorer had underinflated tires. And so it created loss of control of the vehicle. Now, I could be wrong in that, but I swear that Ford Explorer is what brought the tire pressure monitoring system to the technology world of cars, because of how important it is to keep your tire pressures correctly in your vehicle for the handling vehicle. But you'd be amazed at how many people drive down the road and their tire pressures, especially older cars that don't have that TPMS availability, they're oblivious. I mean, I drive around the roads all the time. I see older cars, and you just look at the car like, wow. And that, I've even gone by people beeping their horn, pointing out their tire, and some figure it out, and some, I don't know. I have no idea what they're thinking I'm doing, but yeah. So, but how long was that secret about the Ford Explorer having you buying a car and not being abreast to the proper tire pressures made the difference of that vehicle being safe? And I'm sure anybody here watching my channel, they probably have better stories than me, being I'm just going off the tip of my tongue. I didn't look up this morning the secretive automotive industry of all the things they've done to consumers with cars that aren't safe, and the manufacturer be the last to raise their hand before they were threatened with major lawsuits because of their vehicles not being safe. I mean, here's Tesla. You hear these stories all the time. Tesla, they're having a recall on those cars or something, is the steering wheel falls off. But I mean, it's more than Tesla. It's happened with other manufacturers. And then you hear stories of something in the suspension. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on and on. But it's as if it's a secret. Like in the Ford Bronco forum, before I got my Ford Bronco, the 2.7 motor was going through instantaneous catastrophic destruction. There were numerous people that were just having their motors just totally fail on them and blow up, in so many words, even to the point that I even reached out to the forum thinking, do I even take my Bronco? Do I just kind of sit it out? And how long did Ford want to keep that a secret? That was a main conversation in the Ford Bronco forum, was that is Ford going to continue to ignore all these motors that are going bad in these brand new Broncos? And are they going to continue to be silent and keep this secretive? Or are they going to finally let people know that they really do have an engine manufacturing challenge? And you know what? I kind of just got my Bronco and moved on, and I don't hang out in those forums. I mean, for me, I used to hang out in car forums all the time. And yeah, and then it gets into it gets too deep into that. But then secretive information that's disclosed from others or steal your information to benefit themselves. I mean, it's just incredible how we operate as humans, wanting to get secret conversations and to expose others to their secret thoughts, right? I mean, who doesn't, that people get such enlightenment of the dirty laundry of the world or others' true inner feelings and thoughts. You ever thought to yourself, do you really want to read somebody's mind? I mean, when you're a kid, I think a lot here raise their hand and say, yeah, you used to think that you could just read that person's mind. But as I get older, I don't want to read somebody else's person's mind. I got enough going on in my own brain. I just don't need, because we all get mad, we all get happy. I mean, we're just humans of nature that we just have our emotional moments. And do you really want to know what that person's thinking right now? Yeah, you really don't. Yeah, you want to be confrontational. So the secrets of the automotive world. Look at Hyundai. I was a victim of a Hyundai secret. I bought in 2010, after I'd come out of my financial disaster. The whole country went broke back in 8, 9, 10. I was part of all that. I mean, I'm not lying. I lost everything. I'm not lying to you. I mean, I was able to keep my house because of Virginia laws, because of Virginia spousal protection. We realize we're not. I mean, you learn so much when you go through hardships. So in the state of Virginia, this is very interesting stuff for people to listen to this language. And I've talked about it a little bit before, but in Virginia, they have spousal protection. So for me, I started a lawn and garden equipment dealership, and I bled every cent out of my body to the last cent ever that I ever had in my possession of my life to try to keep a business going. After seeing that eventually I had to raise my hand, look in the mirror, and say, it's over. And so, but in the state of Virginia, they have what they call spousal protection. So I incurred debts and I had obligations, but I went broke. People don't understand this stuff. It's just, to me, it's just like the government. It's just, I guess they just think that money does grow on trees. I mean, I think they kind of think that, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, so my wife has never been a partner in my business and never will be. And this is information for everybody out there that's in business. You need to know your laws, the state that you live in. If you're married, you need to know the laws. These aren't secret things, but they're just not talked among us. People are embarrassed to talk about things like I'm talking about, that how, I went broke. Well, if it wasn't for the fact my wife is in the deed of this property, and she didn't have her name attached to one document of what put me into dire straits of all my financial obligations, I wouldn't be here anymore. The bankruptcy court would have taken my property and sold it to pay unpaid debts. Yeah, so in the state of Virginia, I was blessed to live in the state of Virginia because I had spousal protection. They protect the wife or the spouse from economic hardships. Well, in Maryland, when you get married, you're one. It doesn't matter if you sign a document or not. You're part of the fiasco. It could be drug-related part of fiasco. It could be credit card part of fiasco. Maryland looks at you as one. Florida has a similar law as well. So the state you live in, where unbeknownst to most people are married, your spouse could go out and start doing serious drugs and serious criminal activities and get you into debt like never seen. And unbeknownst to you, you're part of that. You're part of that. In the state you live, the laws consider you one. Yes. Remember we got married and you took the 2 candles or whatever? Do you remember all that stuff? Yeah, hello, you're one. Right, you're supposed to be one, right. Yeah, my wife's like, no, we're not one. Yeah, you get that conversation? So anyway, so the secrets for me, going back to my 2010, I had to buy a Hyundai. Yeah, who's going to buy in 2010? So once you go through a bankruptcy, you're labeled, man. You're kicked to the curb. You are so labeled. You have no idea what I had to go through to get a car. And I fortunately met a guy at a Hyundai dealer that I knew from another, I can't remember if it was a Dodge dealer, and really cool guy, Asian guy. And he remembered me, and he literally was able to get Hyundai Finance to give me a loan because he just knew me so well, and he was able to radiate that back to the finance division of Hyundai that, hey, this guy, he went through some hard times, but blah blah blah. So I got a Hyundai Tucson, and I was excited about that because that car was supposed to get like 30 miles a gallon. Small car, but that was my first new car since like 2008. So it was like a 2 year. It may have been 2011. I'm just kind of going off the tip of my tongue. It may have been maybe in 2012. So it may have been 3-4 years. Yeah, I had a whole timeout hiatus from the buying new cars because I couldn't anymore because of my bankruptcy. I was labeled. So, anyways, I know what's incredible is I didn't burn Toyota Financial. I kept my Toyota FJ Cruiser, my Toyota Tundra, which my wife ended up taking over. I was driving around with my FJ Cruiser with a trailer behind it to work out of it because my wife took my Tundra and she wouldn't give it up. She didn't want to drive the FJ Cruiser. So we were down to a 2-vehicle family. Yes, from 2008 to like 2011 or 12, I just had 2 cars. Can you believe that? That's the lowest point of my life of ever owning cars back to when I was in high school. I owned 2 cars right after I got out of high school and went into the workforce. I had a Cuda and a Chevy truck. So, anyways, the whole point is Hyundai. I bought that Tucson, and I never saw the posted miles per gallon. And years later, eventually I moved on, and I started building my life back, and yeah, wow. Eventually down the road, it comes to find out that Hyundai had lied to people in the industry that they were secretly misleading the fuel mileage numbers. They weren't accurate, right? Oh my gosh! I mean the secrets behind, like I talked to you about yesterday. Here's Porsche, Volkswagen, Audi. It's all conglomerate under basically one roof, building all these diesel TDI turbo diesel injected motors, and in between the 3 different divisions, they're all cheating the emissions compliance worldwide, where there are computers under being hooked up to a emissions machine. A computer then knows that it should not do what it usually does and give it full power, and it recalibrates on how it runs. So it isn't as fuel efficient and it's not as powerful, but it makes it look like the car is emission compliant. But then out of the blue one day, how did that all happen? I talked about it yesterday. So then out of the blue one day, Volkswagen gets exposed that their cars are polluting the world more than they're disclosing to the consumer, the secrets. But the secret didn't last. Here's something I think about: artificial intelligence. I mean, I think this is classic. You just know this is going to play out as time progresses. So everybody's, I haven't done it. I haven't signed up for Chat GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. I mean, think that through. Generative pre-trained transformer. You're training a transformer. I mean, I just think that's going to transform you. You watch. You watch how this transformation starts to play out. It's going to be, you're going to talk to your computer, right? And you're going to maybe say, how do I cheat on my spouse? Or how do I do this? Some devious act. And you just know what's going on. Yeah, let's talk about those secrets. All the, people know about cheating on the spouse. How long do those secrets last, right? Yeah, who hasn't had the story of the girlfriend, boyfriend, in the secret somebody's dating them unbeknownst to you, and then you get the heart-wrenching, my first girlfriend, I'm not lying to you, I moved from Jersey to Virginia right when I met my first high school sweetheart girlfriend, just borderline. This is my sophomore year going into junior year, and I met what I thought was the girl of my life. Interesting, she was a horseback rider too, and oh my gosh, and man, and she just adored me and I adored her, and then I had to move, and now it's a 4-hour drive to Jersey from Virginia, and I'm a kid and sophomore. I'm gonna junior. I'm gonna go back and forth to Jersey every weekend to see my girlfriend. Yeah, right. But she writes me letters, I write her letters, and we talk over the phone here and there. And oh my gosh, just heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. So I go back up to Jersey, and this is now 4 months later after I'd moved, and I had gone back and forth to see her. But I go to see her, and I was going to surprise her. Who doesn't know these stories? I was going to surprise her. I came into town that weekend. She didn't know that. And as I'm driving to her house, she goes by with this guy in a big old, car, sitting next to each other like the traditional, way, the big front bench seat in that big Lincoln car or whatever vehicle it was, or Chevy, Impala, whatever it was, and she goes driving by with her new boyfriend. And unbeknownst to her, she didn't know I saw that and that all happened. Oh my gosh, yeah, who doesn't know? Yeah, how long did that secret last? Yeah, that was a heartbreaker. Boy, that was a tearjerker in my life. That was hard to get over. But anyways, who doesn't know these stories, right? So anyways, the artificial intelligence, how'd that all come about? The artificial intelligence. I think it's going to be classic. Your computer, you'll be in your house, and your computer will miraculously turn on, right, from the artificial intelligence, and then it'll start talking out loud of all these devious things you're thinking about doing. Yeah, and as you're sitting in the house and you're talking about all these devious things, your computer's listening. Like this, the computers aren't already listening to us. I mean, come on, right? Who doesn't know the secrets? You really think there's secrets among us? Right. You think, sincerely, yeah. So I think you're going to hear that story down the road. The computer, it's like the dog. You ever thought to yourself, boy, if a dog could talk. Yeah, if a dog could share what it knows when you're just with the dog and nobody's around. I mean, come on, dude, wouldn't that be classic? Like Ed, what was it, Mr. Ed, the talking horse? Do you remember that show? That was a great, what happened to this good old show? Beverly Hillbillies, Andy Griffith's show, My Dream of Jeannie. Remember those good old shows? Wasn't all the violence all the time? Oh my gosh, right? I mean, just, where are we today? So now we kind of transform, right? We try to move on from the car industry to now we talk about the state of times. And look at Elon Musk. I've been talking about this guy since last year because his buying that Twitter thing, I just like, man, you just scratch your head like, what? Why is Elon Musk buying Twitter? Even though I think it's for his artificial intelligence database to help grow it at leaps and bounds. He used his cars, for the record, to record every mile everybody drives and to create the mapping of the country we live in now for our borderline artificial intelligence cars driving down the road like my Ford F-150 Lightning truck. That is nice going down the road, but it's freaky. It's on and off. I mean, it's definitely glitchy still. And interesting, somebody reached out to my F-150 Lightning truck and shared a secret with me that I think it was a power boost. I think it was the power boost he reached me out on. And he said he puts like a weight, like at a 45-degree angle, he has like a weight on the steering wheel. And he says that it actually fakes out the steering wheel to think that you have your hand on it. And it's true. The truck, even out of Blue Cruise, the truck steers itself going down the road. It does. So he says he can have borderline Blue Cruise on all the time because he's faked out the technology of the vehicle to think since there's a weight on the steering wheel, he has it like on a 45-degree angle or something like that wrapped around the steering wheel. Is it a rock or lead weight? I have no idea what it is, but it makes the vehicle think that the hand is on the steering wheel, so he can go hands-free a lot. He said, "Well, there's a little secret idea for you and be out there that wants to utilize, even though it's kind of freaky. I mean, it's always, you're wondering always like, boy, oh boy, you're oncoming traffic through a corner. So anyway, back to the state of times. Look at Elon Musk. Now here, the Federal Trade Commission. Why is the Federal Trade Commission looking into the mutter? You should call it the mutter, right? the Twitter, the Musker files, the Twitter files. It's getting muddy waters. Why is that the Federal Trade Commission looking into the disclosure of Elon Musk sharing with how political people use Twitter to accomplish political agendas? I mean, why wouldn't it be the Federal Communications? What would be the appropriate authorities? But why? But at the same time, why is the Democratic Party calling out Musk on disclosing information that was used on a social platform to advance political agendas? I mean, why are they attacking him? Right? I mean, so the secrets have been disclosed. I mean, I think to myself, wow, I think to myself, Jeffrey Epstein. The Secrets of Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, does anybody remember that guy just for the hell of it hung himself in a cell where two guards are supposedly watching him, but then for some reason the cameras stopped working at the prison cell and the guards fell asleep? I mean, isn't that weird? The secrets. It's like, okay, the secrets among us, and the power of the secrets. I mean, wow. And in the political, is it the political system? I thought to myself this morning, picture if you had the release of a new car like you do have the release of some new candidate for presidency. Because it seems like as soon as a new candidate starts gaining traction, that candidate, then how these secrets come out, all the dirty secrets come out about this person. I mean, it's like clockwork. Whether Trump continues on his path to be the candidate, to be the president of the country, running for the president of the country, or DeSantis or Haley or whoever it may be, you just know that the dirty secrets will be coming out of the woodwork left and right. But what if you had the same thing happen in the car automotive industry, and the automotive industry operated like the political people do in this country, in other countries too? But just the devious things they do to one another because they don't want to lose the position to advance their agendas. So picture Ford releasing their Mustang, or Chevy releasing a new Camaro, and then all the dirty secrets come out about all the things that you should second guess yourself from buying that product. And some people that hate Ford, you'd be like, well, I don't need any. I already know that Ford's just junk, so you don't have to sell me on that, right? It's incredible how Ford has they're running the found on the road dead, or fast on race day, or fast on rainy days. Yeah, I mean, it's the old car automotive love, hate. And here's the thing. Oh my gosh. So Town and Country YouTube channel, a car dealership where they do reviews and information on trucks and cars. This is really interesting. I last fall built, I think it was like November or December, I think. I built a nice Ford F-450 truck to be built this year. And the way the option, if it comes in, do I buy it or not? Because I just love dualies. I've always loved dualies. In fact, yesterday it's coming back in, Lightning truck, and I saw this really nice F-450 dually, and I was just like, man, that thing they're just so badass looking. I just think the dualies, but for me, it's hard to keep them for a long time because they're just so expensive. And now I got F-150 power boost. That why do I need F-450, right? Besides the look. But anyway, so the Town and Country, this guy, this is kind of concerning. I mean, it's good and bad. This guy watched a video this morning, and he's saying that the availability for the Super Duty series, and especially the F-450, you're not going to be able to get the trucks because Ford has so cut back on availability of your accessories and the upgrades and the things you're going to love about that truck. Just like my F-150 Power Boost, my number one gripe, I bought a platinum truck, no massaging seats, no heated steering wheel. And I'm just like, but I bought the platinum truck. I mean, it's not much different than an F-150 Lariat truck. It's not. It's no different in my eyes. Why did I pay for a platinum price when I didn't get the higher end amenities? And that's a big gripe. So apparently the moonroof is going to be a challenge, and the display screen's going to be a challenge. And there's just a lot of things that are going to be challenging for Ford. So here in 2023, what is going on with Ford? Isn't Jim Farley telling everybody that he's going to get things all back in order and get a handle on production and everything else? And wow, but at the same time, if this is factual, this guy's talking very low production numbers of these Super Duty trucks. Why does the Ford right now, every Ford dealer I've driven by lately out of my travels, there's so many Super Duty trucks sitting in our lots. What is going on? There's so many F-150 trucks in our lots. Not F-450s. I'm not seeing that scenario, but at the same time, so yeah, if you have an F-450, the value is going to stay strong, huge strong. And if you want to go buy one from a dealership, their position is going to be so lucky to get one, and you're going to pay us a lot of money. Yeah, the secrets of our society. Yeah, who doesn't know, the secrets? That's why I think the political, what keeps what keeps the you remember Rush Limbaugh? I was never a Rush Limbaugh follower. I listened to him back in like 1988. I can remember 88, 89. I learned about him from a friend of mine. And yeah, you listen to him, but Jesus Christ, by the time you got done listening to that guy for 3 hours, you're just mad. I mean, that's what I got out of that. I was just like, man, I just can't listen to this guy. Very, intellectual guy. And I just think it's incredible that Rush Limbaugh, for all that knowledge that guy had, and so is Dan, Dan Bonito, Dan Bongo, whatever his name is he the next Rush Limbaugh? Apparently, that guy is getting a huge following, and he's loud, and he's very on Twitter. He he posts every day that Joe Biden is the worst president ever in the history of this country. So he's very aggressive, but I think for myself, Rush Limbaugh. So I'm reading Rush Limbaugh. Yes, he was an incredible. He had an incredible base of followers, and he had incredible knowledge and information. But I think, wow, isn't it something? Him smoking his cigar. He smoked a cigar day in, day out. That's what got him. It wasn't some political person would try to kill him. I mean, as harsh and as radical as he would get with a lot of things, sometimes you'd think, who's going to try to take out Rush Limbaugh because he's so opinionated. That's borderline good and bad and how you handle things. But anyways, I just think to myself, wow. In the end, from my understanding, what got him was his cigars, just sitting behind that mic all day, and it's just, I think to myself all the time, man, I'm always out moving. I'm always moving. I am not a guy that sits around. I am involved in a very physical, labor demanding business. I've got property, and I just love to stay active. But I just think there's so many people that unfortunately they're stuck behind a seat, and they're just sitting there all day, and it's just like, wow. But what's interesting is this is a fact that I read back in I started reading Harvard business books back in the late 80s when I first got my career going. And it was just very intriguing to read the statistics of information. Like union people, the typical union person will put like 30 years, 25 years of their life as a union employee, and like the life expectancy is like 8 years. This is back like in 1988, 89. Life expectancy was 8 years after they retired of their longevity, because they went from having to be doing manual labor, on the line or whatever it may be, and then it went to them just totally sitting down and watching TV all day and losing their activity mode. And the statistics from drinking and lifestyle. And what I thought was very interesting, though, was who lives longer? A person that sits behind the desk, like I just spoke, or the guy that is a guy like me, or a guy that builds houses, or a guy that's an electrician, a plumber, whatever it may be. Who lives longer? Well, believe it or not, the guy that sits behind the desk actually will live longer, because typically the lifestyle of the more manual labor person is more after hours, the smoking, the drinking, and then just the hardships on the body of standing. Yeah, believe it or not, actually standing can actually be too much. In fact, there's a good friend of mine that was an electrician here that helped me do a lot of electrical work here when I built this barn and everything. And just sad, the guy's dead. And the guy died from basically diabetes. But one of the key things that was his challenge, he stood so much, he didn't have the proper blood flow to the lower part of his legs and body. Yeah, because of his vertical position all the time. So it's very interesting to think that you think somebody that sits behind the desk that will not live as long as the person that's more physically active. It's not true. It's actually the opposite to some degree, because there's so many other things that go along with manual labor. That's what I tell my daughter all the time, is like, in the manual labor world, the challenge is you see these people that have these addictions because they don't like their job. It's physical labor. So it's a known fact that manual labor people typically, you're beating up your body. You're abusing your body all day long. So when you get home in the evening, you're abusing your body, whether it's through sex and drugs and in your eating lifestyle. So it's a very big challenge for blue collar people to be healthy as a white collar person because they're abusing their body all day, and then it rolls into the after hours as well. There's another secret for you. I don't think that's a secret. Anyways, hey, that's good enough. Pretty long video. Hope everybody enjoys the video and gets some information or whatever, and just enjoys the talk. And I enjoy talking. Can you tell? What am I doing next? I don't know. I'm gonna, I'm a one-man show. Yeah, I'm a one-man show. So how long does that last? Yeah, right. So anyways, appreciate everybody's support. And once again, God bless, stay safe, and stay tuned for more adventures.